on the line with you, okay?
Okay.
Amber 111, operator 7214. What is the location of your emergency? All right, the police fire ambulance.
I need an ambulance.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My boyfriend, he's been sleep on the couch since this morning. Well, he never came to bed last night. Sleep on the couch. I left him on the couch before I took my son to school this morning and put a blanket over him. And now I just checked on him again because he never got up. I don't feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
And you said, hold on, you said on the couch, what happened?
I said I put a cover over him because he gets a little cool. He's in the living room. And I just checked on him because I see he never got up. And I don't see him breathing. And I don't feel a heartbeat or anything. And I turned him over. He turned on the phone at the mouth.
I'm sorry, are you saying he's not breathing? Is that correct? I'm not hearing you.
Yes. Yes.
Let's stay on the line with you, okay?
Okay.
Amber 111, operator 7214. What is the location of your emergency? All right, the police fire ambulance.
I need an ambulance.
Tell me exactly what happened.
What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday and welcome back. I tried to do this last night, but the damn internet did not like me. I mean, it didn't like me at all. I knew I was going to get a copyright strike on the music that I played, right? So I just figured I'd go ahead and edit that out, but I didn't think that it was going to be all of this shit, right? So, instead of, well, actually, I went ahead and went live on Spaces, but it's been a minute since I've actually hosted a space, so I kind of felt out of sorts. So I guess that was round one. This is round two. I'm gonna try to do this again, and hopefully I don't have any interruptions or issues, but I guess if I do, then we'll just have to try again. If at first you don't succeed, right? Anyway. Today, Saturday, September 7th. Welcome to my show. I'm Eve. I think I said that already. And tonight, America is full. I swear. I don't know what Pew Research Center data we're going to have to use to get everybody on the same page about our capacity, but I'm finding that I am at capacity with dealing with people who are not from here. I mean, it's enough that we have to deal with our homegrown coons, right? But to have to deal with people who are not from here, whose first language is not English. And if I'm being honest, I'm not saying that all people who don't speak English as their first language are issues over here. No. But I am saying that there are a lot of people who are over here whose first language is not English, and they are a fucking nuisance. Yesterday I started with Rich Homie Quan because, well, he is recently deceased, and listening to the 911 call, I found that I had lots of issues, all sorts of issues, and I'm gonna go ahead and play it back. Maybe y'all heard the same issues. Maybe I'm getting it wrong. That is a possibility because, I am just Eve. Y'all know I don't try to act like I know everything as much as I do know things. I know some things, and you guys know things too. So maybe we can get some understanding tonight, because when I heard the first 19 seconds of this call, I was a little confused.
Let's stay on the line with you, okay?
Okay.
Amber,
all right, so I guess that's my first issue or confusion. I'm gonna stay on the line with you. Who is that? Is that an operator? Is that one of the, when you call 911, you get an operator first before you get to emergency dispatch? Because I've actually been there. I know that when you call 911, they have different avenues to send you through to, depending on the level of your emergency. And then if it's non-urgent or not an emergent situation, they might not even send anybody right now. But I guess that was my first question, concern. Who is this person at the beginning?
I'm gonna stay on the line with you, okay? What's your
Okay.
name?
Amber
Advance to
Williams.
911, operator 7214. What is the location of your emergency?
Okay, so I guess it is an operator. She's giving her badge number or operator license number. She's asking about where the emergency is happening. The beep is, I guess her giving the address. We're going to keep things as confidential as we can over here, right?
All right, you need police, fire, or ambulance.
All right, and then it said the police are on their way. That sounded like the same first operator, right?
I need an ambulance.
Tell me exactly what happened.
Now that's a whole nother person. So far, there's been like 3 people on the call: Rich Homie Kwan's girlfriend, the first operator, and this second operator. And I'm sorry, I can tell the difference in the 2 people. They both sound like they have melanin, right? But then one sounds like they are a resident, longtime resident, citizen maybe, or at least been around us for a little while to be able to pick up the lingo, vernacular, tone, accents, and such. But she was sounding like a Black American. But I fucking know you can't do that, especially not off of just somebody's voice, right? So, second person though, second operator, the person that she got patched through to, the one Rich Homie Kwan's girlfriend said that she needed an ambulance to. That woman's first language is not English, and you can't tell me otherwise. Because if her first language is English, she would not sound like this. And that is something you can tell from someone's voice.
All right, you need police, fire, or ambulance.
I need an ambulance.
Tell me.
Oh, right. Okay, my bad. She said, do you need a police or an ambulance? I thought she was saying the police are on the way. So she was saying, do you need a police or an ambulance? And then this other person comes on. And if the second person is the same as the first person, I don't know how she sounded like that at the beginning, and then she sounds like this.
Tell me exactly what happened.
My boyfriend, he's been asleep on the couch since this morning. Well, he never came to bed last night. Sleep on the couch. I left him on the couch before I took my son to school this morning. Put a blanket over him, and now I just checked on him again because he never got up. I don't feel a heartbeat. I don't see him breathing.
And you said, hold on, you said on the couch, and what happened?
And what happened? What happened was she just told you what happened, and you wasting time. But okay, maybe you didn't hear her, or maybe you don't understand her. Because is it possible that there is a language barrier going on? We got a gap in the understanding because one of them speaks English and one of them doesn't speak English. I don't know. I'm not trying to harp on anything as much as I'm feeling some type of way. Shout out to Rich Homie Kwan. I'm just saying.
I said I put a cover over him because it gets a little cool. He's in the living room, and now I just checked on him because I see he never got up, and I don't see him breathing. I don't feel a heartbeat or anything, and I turned him over. I see he kind of foamed at the mouth.
All right, this woman is clearly in distress. And honestly, if you listen to the first person who was on the phone, she sounded empathetic, right? I'm not going to play the whole thing, the whole first 1 minute and 5 seconds all over again, but I am going to play the beginning again.
I'm gonna stay on the line with you, okay?
That's empathy, if not sympathy. There is emotion there. I know you heard it. And even if you didn't hear it, just the words, I'm going to stay on the line with you, is reassuring. It is letting the person who is having an emergency know that they're not alone. And I think that that's necessary in times of great stress. If you're calling 911, clearly something's wrong. But okay, let's move back to where we were in the call. Here it is.
I'm sorry, are you saying he's not breathing? Is that correct? I'm not hearing you.
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. If there's
Yes.
a defibrillator available.
All right, did you catch it? Is there a defibrillator available? I didn't make that up. Let's go back.
If there's
Yes.
a defibrillator available.
Is there a defibrillator available?
Send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
Is there a what?
If there's a defibrillator available,
A defibrillator. A defibrillator available. Now, okay, like I said, I did try to have this conversation, this uncomfortable reckoning of sorts last night. Internet fucked with me for about 3 hours. Come to find out, everybody in the house can't be on the internet at the same time, at least not while I'm streaming. I don't have the capacity. No, I mean, I'm paying for the fucking internet, and even with paying for these services, we're not getting all that we're supposed to be getting. No, we gotta share the shit. We have to ration it out, and it's still not enough. But anyway, I digress. Um, Last night and today, let's talk about defibrillators. Now, is there a group of people in the United States who don't know what a defibrillator is? Sure, absolutely. I mean, I feel like I've only really heard it because I've taken various CPR courses in my professional capacity, right? I've I've had to use one because again, in my professional capacity, needing to know what one was part of my job. If I didn't know what one was, I don't know that I'd be able to have had the jobs that I've had. But I digress. Do y'all know what a defibrillator is? And did you know what a defibrillator was? Because I promise you, I fucking think that there is a reason that I feel the way that I feel. I'm feeling some type of way. And how I'm feeling like people whose first language isn't English, they should not have any type of job function role or anything like that when it comes to emergency services. Because in real time, there could be a language barrier. And I get it. You'll see signs that says, yo hablo español, or, they're paying extra if you're bilingual. And I get it. Joe told y'all that, white people were going to be in the minority and we had to deal with the Mexicans, with the beaners, right? He smacked and clapped his hands at these niggas, and everybody's kind of fell in line. And in real time, we were watching. I absolutely hate having to press one for English. Why am I pressing one for English and I live in America? Why am I getting connected to a customer service rep whose first language isn't English? The other day, I literally had to deal with customer service for one of my utility bills and spoke with one woman who sounded like she could have been an American, maybe not. Maybe she's like a first generation. She had the accent down, but you can kind of hear that there was a little roll with her R's. She had a little extra. She patched me through to a person who absolutely did not speak English as their first language, but was trying to tell me that they couldn't do certain things. And I'm like, well, if they patched me through to you, you can do certain things, because if they couldn't, then there would be no patch through, right? A lot of times we are not using these resources to the best of our ability because we get hung up on how we feel about what's going on. Trust me, I've been there. I've gotten very frustrated with dealing with customer service that I'll just hang up. Fuck this call, fuck this person, fuck this service. I just won't pay for it anymore. Fuck it. But no, the way that I've seen them other people get around things, work the system, get things to benefit them in ways that shouldn't benefit them. Fuck if you think that I actually, with my actual emergency, with my actual problem needing to speak to someone in customer service, that I'm going to continue to give up. Fuck that. No, you will give me the same courtesy. You will treat me white. Shout out to Dr. Short, who lets people know that that's how you need to be treated if you want to get things. But anyway, the woman who didn't speak English well, guess what? She had a boss too. And then her boss had a boss. And her boss, if there is someone to speak to, trust and believe, if you are in America, you can speak to an English speaking person if you ask the right questions, if you say you're not understanding. I mean, I don't know what happens in a 911 call when you don't understand the person who's supposed to be sending help. Can you let them know, look, I don't fucking get what you're saying. Can you transfer me to somebody who speaks English? Because somebody is dying over here and you are holding up progress. But no, I guess people aren't really having those thoughts when they're in an emergency. They're just trying to figure out what's going on. They're in shock, they're stressed, they're upset. That woman was visibly, I'm sorry, not visibly, she was audibly upset.
Send someone to get it now and tell me when you have it.
I'm not sure what that.
For all intents and purposes, I know that there's a script. I know that 911 operators and emergency call responders have to follow a script. So asking about a defibrillator is necessary because you might be at a I don't know, at a gym, maybe you're at the airport, maybe you are at the mall. If you guys are out and about, check your surroundings. A lot of these places now have way more than they used to, but they've always been there. You know, the defibrillators. Do y'all know what a defibrillator is? And I'm not trying to be over here like telling y'all to look anything up because I have the ability to do such a thing for you in real time. This is a defibrillator. This is a defibrillator. It's one of these heart attack type bags, right? You know, when you go clear and you go poof, right? You got to put the pads on the chest the right way. You know, if it's a baby, you got to put it in a different way. They got different size pads, all sorts of shit. But if you're at the mall or the movies or whatever, and you are having an emergency situation, they are around. And then first responders and people who have CPR cards are supposed to respond to emergencies that happen around them. So I'm not saying that the woman was wrong to ask about a defibrillator, but I am saying that so far it was very hard for me to understand what she's talking about, and I'm not the one in the emergency. So let's just handle this with care, shall we?
Tell me when you have it.
I'm not sure what that is.
Okay, I'm sending the paramedics to help you now. Stay on the line, and I'll tell you exactly what to do next.
Okay.
I need to know about how old he is.
He's 34.
Okay, are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay, please put your phone on speaker so your hands are free to help.
Can I add his dad to the call? He's trying to call me back because I called him first before I called you.
Okay, so we need to help your boyfriend now. Okay, listen.
Okay, so from the conversation that I saw online, I guess a lot of people had issues here. In an emergency, we don't really need to be patching through all these different people. I get it. She wanted support. She wanted extra support. People are calling her back because she's having an emergency. But, you know, when you do finally reach out to the first responder people, they don't have time to waste. That's why I started with that. If you don't speak English well, you don't need to be taking these phone calls because you're wasting precious time. Doing CPR on a person 30 seconds before you start doing CPR on the person could be a difference between brain dead and not. I mean, I'm not even talking about life or death. I'm talking about their quality of life if they are going to make it. You know, I get it. You don't want to deal with a vegetable and medical bills for the rest of your life and all that shit. Fine, fine, fine. But again, starting these emergency procedures soon can definitely help the overall outcome of the person in the emergency. So while Rich Homie Kwan's girlfriend, I need to look up her name and stop calling her Rich Homie Kwan's girlfriend. Let's do that real quick. Rich Homie Kwan girlfriend. Her name is Amber. Oh, Amber. Okay, Amber. Amber's on the phone with 911 and she wants to patch the dad through because I guess he finally is responding or whatever. But now she's on the phone with 911. So in my humble opinion, she needs to just follow what the 911 operator is telling her to do at this time because that is why she called. And in the meantime, in between time, I mean, I don't know why people can't text while they're on the phone. You know, like I tried to call you. I'm calling 911 now. I'm on the phone with 911. Get your ass here. You know, we don't need to speak on the phone as much as I already called you and you didn't answer the phone. So I needed to call someone who could actually help. And I get it. We don't call 911 as a practice because of being targets and living inside of a confusing system dominated by racist white supremacists. But when you don't have another option and I guess you don't want someone you love to die, you will do some things, right? So let's get back to the things.
Carefully lay him flat on his back on the floor and remove anything under his head.
He is not waking up. Quick.
Ma'am?
Yes.
Okay, you gotta
you
get him to the floor. Lay him flat on his back on the floor and remove anything under his head.
Flat on his back on the floor?
Yes, ma'am.
Help me.
What's Drake?
He's not here.
Yeah,
Were you able to get him to the floor?
Yes, he's not. His heart not beating or anything.
Now, I'm not in the business of the trauma porn, so I don't necessarily plan on playing that anymore tonight, but I wanted to start tonight with the call because it just gives a glimpse into the problems that we're having and why I believe America's full. If you agree with me, you can let me know. If you disagree with me, you can let me know. If you're one of the trolls in my comments who say that because I believe America's full, I'm a Trump supporter, you can kiss my big toe, respectfully, of course, because when I swing it at your face, yeah, I think it would be nicer than you getting kicked in the face. But if you want to bring your head by my foot, then I can't be responsible for what happens to your face at the hands of my foot, I guess. But no, there are a lot of people here in the country. I don't know what the current number is off the top of my head, but according to Bing, at least, and Copilot, brought to you by Bing, Microsoft Bing, that is. That was not an ad. I'm not getting paid by them. I'm just saying that's what I'm using right now. But according to Bing, which is Microsoft's AI, 2024 population of the United States is estimated to be around 345 million people. So inside of the 345 million people, that's a lot of fucking people. And 2022 census records say that it was 333 million people. So in the past 2 years, we've gained about, carry the one, dot the I, 23 million people. And I don't think that that's just from births. No, because in real time, according to the Migrant Policy Institute, there's an estimated 11 million people who are not supposed to be here this year alone, just this year. So in the 11 million people that aren't supposed to be here, 23 million, I don't know. The numbers lie, don't they? Because sometimes they don't even take an accurate reporting or account of who matters. And then they do an over-reporting of who doesn't matter. But inside of these numbers, well, this is a voting year, isn't it? And in the voting year, I've been questioning why certain parties would want so many people here who, according to the data, don't even vote for that party when they get over here. You know, it's strange, but let's go with the data. I wanted to know about voter turnout, right? Because it's an election year. And according to Pew Research Center, there's about 66% of the voting eligible population who actually votes. Looking at the past elections, it says that 2018, 20, and 22 were three of the highest U.S. turnout for the elections over the past 30 years. So 66% of eligible voters are actually voting. That means that there is a whopping more than 25% of people who can vote that don't vote. Now, Black America, white America, if you're an American and you're supposed to be here, and I don't mean one of you people who pay some sort of tax to be here, even though you are not supposed to be here, you know, work types of tax, sales tax, absolutely. And anything else that you're paying that makes you think that you get a pass, you're not included in this number. But what we don't see is we don't see how many. They give percents a lot, but they don't actually say that out of the 345 million people who are here, this is how many people are allowed to vote. That's not how the data is broken down. It's just broken down into percents of the eligible voters. This is how many people vote. So if this is how they're going to break the demographics down, then this November, not only do I urge you to vote for common sense, if there is a candidate that has a tangible on the ballot for your specific group of population, then absolutely do what you need to do. But if you're just voting for someone because you don't like someone else, then maybe you don't participate this year. And in your non-participation, make sure that you're actively looking and taking note, because I believe that 66% of eligible voters is going to go down by a lot. Because not only do I think that most Black people don't like the orange man, there's a lot of white people who don't like him either. So if they don't like him and they don't like Kamala, and we don't like him and we don't like Kamala, and they're not voting for Jill Stein or Cornel West or Kanye West for that matter, then that 66% is going to go down. I've met a lot of people who do for self, a lot of people who live off of the land, from the land, and they're doing good. Yeah, they do still pay the same things that we pay, and inflation hits everybody. But when you grow your own food, you source your own energy, it's a little bit easier to function outside of the matrix that we've all been conditioned to participate in. But if a lot of people are checking out this year, then what does that mean? And inside of those numbers, inside of that 66%, how many of those people are Black Americans, that is? Because I want to say that when I looked at the data on Pew Research, it says that I want to say that it was like 11% of Black America is voting. Can't find that number just yet, but I will if you give me a moment. Oh, here it is. Wide disparities. Age, no, race. Okay. Let me share the screen so that I don't misspeak. And if I am misspeaking, you guys can correct me. But this is what I'm reading from. This is Pew Research Center's voters and non-voters. And this data right here, it says by ethnicity, voters in 2018 and 2022, for Black, it was like 9%. You see that? And then non-voters, it's 15%. It is my belief that this number is going to go down by a lot. And when it goes down by a lot, it's going to be something like 5 or 6% Black voters. And this number for the majority minority population is going to go down to like 62%. But with all of these other spicy people with no melanin claiming white, I guess we might not see a huge difference with these numbers with regards to the white population. But that Black population, I mean, I feel we've been pretty consistent about delineating and making sure that people classify themselves as themselves. But at least according to Pew, there is no delineation data available at this time. So who's going to be counted as Black, who's considered Black. Well, I guess it'd be everybody that's not white at this time, or Asian or Hispanic at this time. But getting back to the reasons why, well, the Democrats seem to be very interested in keeping the borders open. And when things like that happen, well, I find that it's important to pay attention to what people are saying. This is a conversation that was posted Wednesday, September 4th. Schumer sounds off on GOP plan to tie citizenship voting requirement to spending bill. It's a little hard to hear, but you definitely will be able to get the gist.
Well, I mean, this is a solution looking for a problem. I mean, there is no evidence that undocumented migrants vote hard enough to get citizens to vote. I mean, when we see, the number of participation in elections, not the level we would like, typically, and the problem doesn't exist, and it's just creating, a new system and requirements that there doesn't seem. Well, I mean, this is a solution looking for a problem. I mean, there is no evidence.
Quick segue. Maybe I'm trolling, maybe I'm not. Have y'all seen this dude before? Because Chuck was given this dude. You see him walking.
This is a solution looking for a problem. I mean, there is.
What does that mean? I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be. Look at his calves. He got some nice calves. They say he's straight. But Chuck was just kind of giving this a little bit to me. But okay. Let me get back to what I was actually talking about.
No evidence that undocumented migrants vote hard enough to get citizens to vote. I mean, when we see, the number of.
I'm sorry. What was that, Chuck? It's hard enough to get citizens to vote. Is that what you said?
I mean, when we see, the number of participation in elections, not the level we would like, typically, and the problem doesn't exist. And it's
Not the level of participation they would like, but there's no problem. I guess it's like that song. Not my problem. That's what Chuck said. That's just not his problem. But it sounds like a problem. It sounds like he's trying to say that people who are not supposed to be here don't vote. And well, if you just were to Google or do some sort of internet search about undocumented people voting, you will see all sorts of different things on both sides of the argument. I find that if you are one of these Texans trying to help people vote and register to vote because you are afraid of things, well, it looks a little bit like voting fraud to me. And for what it's worth, the Democrats say that the Republicans are trying to bring back slavery with their choice in the orange man, and that, they are going to take away our rights as Black Americans with the orange man. The orange man was already president, and I don't know what rights I didn't have under him that I don't have right now, as much as right now under the Democrats, the Democrats, Kadummy and friends, we have to start identifying ourselves by pronouns, even though we all know what a woman and a man is. I mean, everybody who's born right now knows what a woman and a man is. There is no confusion, as much as there have been a lot of people trying to change the definition of things. That's why when we say delineate, it's powerful, because once you get people to use your definition and understanding of things, it changes things. That's why you can't be a off the boat nigga and be a Black American. It doesn't exist. Not like that. Because Black in America is not just a racial designation. It's a cultural identity. It's a lineage that connects a trifecta amalgamation of people who did not have any say as far as we were forced to do things that we were skilled to do. Don't get it twisted. You know, I fucking hate white America. And some of you confused dummies out here who say that without the white man, we would still be living in hut. Fuck you. I mean, really, we are the skilled labor class. That's why we are the permanent underclass. We can't hire each other to do these jobs, not in a big way. And then because we don't have any authority over industries, well, you're just gonna have to deal with it, nigga. But if you're not from here, I say it's time to get stepping, right? Shout out to Martin. I really, wherever the fuck you're from, go back there. Like next stop, wherever you fled from, type shit. Because, well, I mean, y'all have heard the saying before, you know, you ain't got to go home, but you got to get the fuck out of here, right? Y'all have heard that. You've said that. You understand the terminology, the lingo, the Black American vernacular of it all. Meaning you don't have to go home, but you do need to exit the premises because you're not welcome here anymore. And we were being nice. We were being kind, polite, hospitable, right? We're the best hosts and hostesses. And when it's time to go, it's time to go. Carry your ass. But these people, they don't carry their ass. No, they, if you look at your screen, look at my thumbnail, Juarez, Eduardo, Hector, Ramirez, Juan Julio, Pablo Escobar on your screen. This motherfucker is smiling for the camera. He's being arrested and he's smiling for the camera. Let me see if I can find that article again. Let's see. Here we go. According to the New York Post, which you may or may not like or not, whatever, I don't care. This was posted on September 2nd. According to them, migrants in New York are flooding the court systems. There's one, Jefferson Maldonado, who's 31, from Ecuador, has been arrested 5 times. 5 fucking times since he's been here. Guess when he got here, y'all? Do you want to guess? When do you think he got here? What's up, Spirit Wonder? I'm glad too, because look, last night YouTube was fucking with me so hard. And then come to find out it's because everybody was online in my house and I'm at capacity. But it was so fitting, right? Because America's full. I find that we are also at capacity, or we don't have the capacity to deal with it. Niggas, like, I just don't understand how we can be around some terminology, some sayings, some people, and then not apply it across the board. But Jefferson Maldonado got here this year, 2024. He's been arrested 5 fucking times. They said his latest arrest was for stealing a pair of pants and a beer from Target. So that sounds like the white people in that area. Where's Herald Square? Let's see. Herald Square, Target. Let's see. That's in Manhattan. Okay. Is that a white part of New York? Y'all are gonna have to bear with me. I'm not too familiar with the landscape up north with you Yankees, but I mean, I know that Harlem is where the niggas is, are supposed to be. And Staten Island, nobody likes Staten Island. And then upstate New York, y'all don't really get to say New York as much as you normally say like Buffalo or Syracuse, right? I also know that y'all niggas try to act like you didn't have slavery. But that's a lie too. Just for shits and giggles. Sojourner Truth, everybody knows Sojourner Truth, ain't I a woman type shit. She was enslaved in Swartkill, New York. Get it? Okay, and that was in 1826. So a lot of people up north try to act like they don't have a sordid past, just like California's trying to act like they didn't have slaves. And I understand, California as a state was not in the same arena as like Virginia, where I am. But I mean, if you're a part of the country, it sounds like you're going to have to foot the bill too, unless you're going to like separate. But remember last time people tried to separate and then you needed the niggas to help. Okay, well, back to my New York Post article. Jefferson Maldonado from Ecuador wanted to change his clothes and think, a direct quote, "I wanted to sit down and think about my life, about what to do, because this is not a normal world." Here is a picture of Mr. Maldonado and one of his buddies sitting in the court awaiting trial. Right? That looks like a nigga who's saying it's not his problem, right? He probably wearing the damn jeans he stole. And on the left, all right, so on the left is Juan Bernal Rodriguez, and on the right is Mr. Jefferson Maldonado. There he is. Can you see him? This is one of them brown niggas, right? Ecuador. This is where you get the brown niggas. I guess it's not just Ecuador, but one is Juan and one is Jefferson. And I don't know if Jefferson's one of them names that you give yourself when you come over here because you want to be more American, but Maldonado is not American. Maybe it's South American. Maybe it's Central American, but it ain't United States American. But okay. Chuck Schumer wants everybody to think that the illegals who are taking over these areas, they're not going to be voting, so don't worry about it. And that's just a scare tactic by some people on the other side of the fence. Two wings, same bird, two wings, same bird. Y'all need to say that until you're blue in the face, at least until it becomes a mantra for you. Two wings, same bird. There's nothing that the dummies are going to do that the Republicans are not going to have thought about already. And okay, yeah, there you go, Spirit Wonder. San Bernardino was a slave colony. There you go. So in real time, if pieces and parts of your state had slaves enslaved and our ancestors in chains or other, then I don't think you get to say that California was not a slave state. Because, I mean, really, none of the states were slave states when it all started. They were all colonies. And then America said, we want the right to do what the fuck we want to do on our own land. And, we want to be emancipated from our parents over across the water. So they fought, boom, boom, fought. Niggas who are here, fight with us and we won't fuck with you. Okay, niggas like, all right, yeah, we'll fight with you. Boom, boom, they fight. And oh, just kidding, we don't like you. And some of y'all look like the niggas that we've been trying to take over on this big ass continent full of resources. And since y'all look like them and we don't like them, we're gonna say fuck you too. And that's how we're just gonna do these things. I know that's like a horrible Spark Notes version of 400 years of bad shit before we get to where we are today. But these niggas right here, they just look as content as a bug in a rug, but they're fleas, so they would be, right? All right, moving along. in court that day, Jefferson was one of 5. Now, to the picture in the thumbnail that I was sharing with you guys, look at this shit. This motherfucker is smiling. So we got a nigga officer, another nigga officer, a white guy or girl in the back, but that's definitely not a nigga right there. And then maybe like Jefferson's cousin, maybe this is Kamala's cousin, but not a nigga. So we got 2 niggas, a not nigga and a not nigga, right? And then you've got this person right here who's smiling. Cheese. Cheese. It says in New York, the cops are not allowed to work with ICE, even if they believe the suspects are in the country illegally. What the fuck is that? Is that one of them sanctuary laws? Because last night I labeled the space and show sanctions on our sanctuaries, or sanction our sanctuaries, because an SOS is needed. But who is coming to help? Nobody's coming to help. You better help yourself, because that's all the help you got, right? Just going through these little pictures with you. I feel like they can give more information than not. But again, it says police sources shared with the Post a staggering estimate that as many 75% of the people they've been arresting in recent months for crimes like assault, robbery, and domestic violence are migrants. And I guess they're trying to be PC, politically correct. No, illegals. These motherfuckers are illegals. And maybe the 2 of them that are actual war crime victims, I don't think that those people are in the 75% that is causing all of the disruption in Manhattan. Look at this. Caius Pallets on 31st Street in Long Island is fed up dealing with serial shoplifters at their store. This one person is stolen 3 different times, and he's got on the same fucking outfit. So during this one trip, or he kept coming back, and there's somebody right there too. Look, there's somebody right there. Okay. During this one trip, he gets to steal 3 times, or he comes back and he keeps stealing. Okay. Just some more pictures for you. You know, y'all see the pictures of the illegals and other people who are not supposed to be from here. I'm sorry, who are not from here and not supposed to be here. And there's like super fresh. They got the fresh kicks, the fresh Nikes. They have cell phones, Obama phones, and all sorts of shit. Get to set up on the side of the road and sell their goods. I'm sorry, I earled like 5 different times when I saw people making food on the subway. Because I know that y'all have seen the different reels with the street food. I mean, they're kind of viral, but maybe it's just me. I'm a big back over here. I like to watch food reels, and I get stuck down the rabbit hole of watching different Indian street food vendors, and god damn it, that shit makes me earl every time when I see you licking your fingers and sticking your fingers in the oil, or wiping the sweat off of your brow and then using that same hand that hasn't been washed or anything to stir some sort of soup or sauce. Don't make me pull these up. I know y'all seen it before. I don't want to gross you out, but if you're gonna act like you ain't seen it, I might have to show you. Oh, really? Okay. All right. We're gonna do it on mute though, because we don't want to get any types of strikes. But let's see if we can pull this one up for you. Yeah, okay. They're laughing really hard because something is funny. Don't know what's funny yet, but there it is. Look. You see, look at his dirty. All right, it might not be a dirty hand. It might not be a dirty hand. It might not be a dirty hand, but them niggas is on the floor. Oh, Not a dirty hand, but that's some fucking feet. Tell me you didn't see them feet. That's some feet. That's some fucking feet. All right. So then you got Kamala telling everybody that she washes her greens in the tub. Maybe she does. Because if you over there kneading bread with feet, maybe you don't mind feet juice in your greens. That pot liquor is bath water. You better think. Fuck you, Kamala. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back to this Indian street food. Gross. Look at him sweating. When's the last time he took a bath? I don't know. But look at him feet. Look at him feet. I don't like that they keep close up in his balls and nutsack. I think that's kind of gross. But I think I'm more grossed out by the fact that the dough is on the floor. They're on the floor. Everybody's on the floor. They're on the floor. They're making food on the floor. That's what they're doing. Okay. That's not so bad. Maybe they washed their hands before they got started, right? It's understandable. I have a tactile issue. I can't just touch a whole bunch of food that's going to cake up on my fingers. It really grosses me out. I might have OCD, something, maybe, but other people don't have that problem. So, let's just check it out. They're mashing something. Don't know what it is, but maybe their hands are clean. And I don't know what these niggas over here in the corner are doing, but they're having a grand old time talking about this food. And, oh, I have an idea.
Ma'am, don't. Get ahead and I'll prove it.
Oh,
And I'm putting my hand in your face.
oh.
No, it ain't sweet. It's just, no. Knuckle, though. You gonna bite into that and feel it. Ma'am, don't.
Look, with his hands.
Get ahead and I'll prove it.
With his hands.
And I'm putting my hand in your face.
He's squeezing it
No,
out
why not at the top of that?
with his hands.
At the same time, he like, oh man. We need two scoops of what you got your hand in? Well, eggshells in it too. That's eggshells? Never mind, you good. Just pass the 2 plates down, man. He feeling like McDonald's. They got a line. I got a line, bro. Right here, man. Look, everything's spilling, bro. He's sitting Indian style, bro. They're sitting Indian style, bro. That's where I come from, bro. Put some fish go up in there and
All right, I'm sorry. Just watching this shit, I absolutely might have to stop eating at the Indian restaurant that I go to. Because this just grossed me the fuck out. I don't know what the fuck they're doing back in the kitchen. What if they're cooking it like this back in the kitchen? Have y'all thought about that? These people who have really strange hygiene practices that we see on summer jam screens online and these exposés. And then niggas will spend lots of money at a fancy type of ethnic restaurant where you get to experience the culture. You want some curry? You go to the Indian restaurant or Caribbean restaurant, or you go to that culture's restaurant because they have the skills. Yeah, Spirit Wonder, I like food. I was not joking. Big back over here for sure. That's why I have to work out, because if I don't, I will get fat. It's in my blood. Fat is easy over here, so fit is a little bit harder. But no, I like food. I like Indian food. At least when I make it, I like it a lot. And if I'm being honest, I really like naan, but that's just bread, right? So what do you do? I think I like biryani, which is, I guess, is some kind of like rice dish. And my man likes very spicy food. So Indian food, very spicy. They like to try to fuck your booty hole up because of how spicy it is. I feel like they be getting a kick out of it. But some people can handle the spice. Not me. I don't like that shit. I like a little spice. But the minis are like their daddy. They like spice, and Indian food can be very spicy. So we do try to expand their palates. Oh, another segue real quick, you guys. If you have minis, you should season their food, because there's no reason that your children are picky eaters and have picky eater food disease and syndrome when you eat food with spices, but then you don't season their food. And if you think it's because they can't take it, they can. Because I think all of our minis have eaten cayenne in the after 12 months range. And I don't mean eating cayenne because we were trying to feed them cayenne, but you know, if you suck your fingers and then we put some shit on your fingers thinking that you're not gonna suck it, and then you eat it off of your fingers, there's big back behavior. Spirit wonder is in my blood. My mini's got it too, so we gotta be fit over here. And Indian food, I guess it helps clean the system so you don't actually get stuffed and have a lot of shit up there because you might shit it out. Okay, I digress. Let's get back to this post. Look at this picture. Criminal migrants on shoplifting spree assault cops, but most are still let go. So look at all the brown people. Brown people. She kind of looked like what's her name? The chick who got into the little entanglement with Ursher and had the baby daddy issues, but then they got together. What's her name? Kiki? No. What's her name? Kyla? No. Getting close. Her name is, I don't know. Maybe she doesn't look like her. She kind of looked like her to me. Anyway, Chuck Schumer is trying to tell us that illegals don't vote. And I don't think they vote just yet. I don't think they're allowed to just yet. Oh, shit. Bernal, this one who was sitting next to Mr. Jefferson, who'd been arrested 5 times, was arrested for stealing French fries. Y'all think this nigga was arrested for stealing French fries? I think he was arrested for stealing French fries from a baby. I don't know that you get arrested for stealing some fries. Where were you at? Where were you at that you stole fries and got arrested? But okay. I am at capacity with the people who are not supposed to be here, and then they get sanctuary city laws. I found a Dear John letter to New York from a former senator. Let me see, what is his name? His name is I'm bad with that. His name is I don't fucking remember what his name is. He wrote a letter to New York letting them know about the sanctuary city laws. And is it on my phone? Give me a moment, people. I don't have no mod today. Let's see. Let's see. His name is all the way free. Are you in the chat? Who did I look up yesterday? Do you remember? It was that Dear John letter to the American people talking about what is actually happening in New York, as written by a New Yorker who used to be in government. Do you remember who that was? I might have to take a commercial break just so I can find it. Yeah, I think I will. Y'all be patient with me. I'll be right back.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. Vampires, they prey on your fears so them not stay away. Vampires, they prey on your fears, control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck control your atmosphere. Distraction away from you. I am you and control your atmosphere. Don't let them take your energy. Don't let them suck your energy. It's a distraction away from me. I am you and you are me. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the ones who do. Nobody but yourself. Don't follow. I said nobody but yourself. Don't follow. Nobody but yourself. Don't follow yourself. Nobody yourself. Nobody but yourself.
Okay, that was kind of pointless. Couldn't find it, but what I found instead might be as potent. We'll see in a moment. This is CBS News from September 6th. So yesterday, illegal police stops in New York have increased under Mayor Eric Adams, Monitor says. You think I can do their voice? Let's see.
More stops, frisks, and searches overall, and legal police stops by the NYPD have drastically increased under the Adams administration. Illegal police stops by the NYPD have drastically increased under the Adams administration. According to a court-appointed monitor.
You think if I do her voice, CBS will hire me? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't really want a job from them.
The audit found that the department is conducting more stops, frisks, and searches overall, and that more of them violate the law. In 2023, there were nearly 17,000 reported stops. That's nearly double the amount in 2020. 12% of stops, more than 30% of frisks, and about a third of searches were deemed unconstitutional.
All right, so what they're doing is they're trying to say that because the police are fucking up, that they kind of have some karma coming their way. But inside of this karma, them having to deal with all of these people who are not from here, not supposed to be here, seems like, well, it seems like people who should be getting help are not going to get the help that they are supposed to get. It seems like they will absolutely be put on the back burner for something else. Or is it just me? I don't understand why it seems so complicated to have these conversations, but then in real time, some of these mayors with these issues, like shout out to Chicago, are saying that they have issues, but they are absolutely the reason for the issue. Kind of like Kamala and Biden saying that if you vote for Kamala, then she'll fix the problems. I'm sorry. Isn't it in your arena right now? Isn't the ball in your court right the fuck now, Kamala? I mean, because I know I call you Kadummy, and I don't mean it as much as I don't know what it is that you're smart about. Maybe you were the smartest hoe at Howard at the time. I'll have to talk with Dr. Short about that because I feel like there's a lot of people giving you a run for your money. But if you are the smartest hoe at Howard, and this is where you've able to get yourself on the flat of your back or the balls of your knees, then I guess you got some kind of street smarts, right? I mean, you did tell everybody you was out there in them streets. But okay, the police in New York are fucking up.
Constitutional. The Monitor says the NYPD's specialized neighborhood safety teams and public safety teams made the majority of those unlawful stops.
Really need to look closely as those units regarding like their effectiveness and their true necessity and whether or not they're actually harming.
All right, her name is Guadalupe. Do I have to say it? I mean, really, do I have to say it? That bitch is not American. No offense, Guadalupe, but you're not.
New Yorkers rather than engaging in lawful policing.
In response, the NYPD says it is committed to working collaboratively with the Monitor to address the areas of concern that were.
I'm sorry. The only area of concern that niggas should have is why are we spending resources to arrest people who are going to get out and commit more crime and then get arrested and get out and commit more crime? How many people have to die? Oh, you didn't think I was going there? Oh, I'm definitely going there because I want to say that back in February of this year, no, okay. This article was updated, quote, quote, updated in August. Eric Adams saying that sanctuary city laws need to be amended so that the migrants who are committing crimes can be deported. I'm sorry, if you're not supposed to be here, then your ass should be able to get deported. Period. That's the whole, that one law right there, period. You're breaking the law. You gotta go. You're an illegal. But the confusing, dominating society, the white people, the people with no melanin, the shadow government, whoever the fuck you want to call it, they've gotten very good at paying attention to Black America, because while Black America has been very specific and unspecific and having to deal with a lot of obstacles and people in the way, we've been saying delineate. We've been saying cut the check. So they said, fine, we cut the check for everybody that makes under $100,000. And fine, we delineate. Let's see. OMB, paging OMB. Oh, delineate. Let's have these reparations task force where we are going to put people who have melanin on the task force because that's what the niggas want. They want representation, right? And then the representatives don't speak for the people. I'm sorry, America's full and we're going to have to do something about it. I want to say it was Juicy on Twitter. Let's check it out. Was it Juicy? I think it's Juicy. Juicy, what's your damn name on Twitter? The fuck is your name on Twitter? I don't remember. Why are you not pulling up? Okay, Juicy Genius. We are still following each other. I don't know why I didn't want to pull you up, but let's go to. We're definitely going to get to Yvette. Carnell. Okay, Juicy the Genius has been a voice of reason on these Twitter streets with regards to what it is that we're seeing. So this week, Fulton County had a task force meeting. California's not the only place, you know? You have to fucking pay attention. You cannot be out here saying no tangibles, no vote, and then not pay attention to what's on the ballot, because I promise somebody like Marcel is gonna sneak through and not be paid attention to, because niggas is all talk. And Marcel, if you're still doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, then I really hope that this voting year is different for you. But I digress. What was I looking for? Juicy, you posted something about Fulton. Oh, right. What I wanted to say is that if you're not paying attention, then these people who are infiltrating our spaces, their entitlement is understood. They've never been stepped to before. I don't think it's this one. Black News Daily. Is it this one?
Most immigrants, not just Black immigrants, most immigrants.
Yeah, there you go.
The intentional immigration, this racialized caste, was anchored in slavery. If you came over here in an airplane as opposed to a slave ship, we're different. We're the only group that has been multi-generationally.
I'm sorry, y'all. Try to pause it. This is an example of we don't have to like each other to do what needs to be done. Yvette has me blocked. I don't know what I did to her. Oh no, I remember. She got mad when y'all niggas came together and got on code with me and helped me put out these billboards. Like this one. This is not me as much as, I mean, I was the one who talked to Lamar to get the billboard put up, but this was us. And last election, we put this in Scranton. Why? We felt like Joe was going to win. So we put this billboard where he is from, Scranton, Pennsylvania, and let him know that foundational Black Americans are owed. And yeah, there's all these fucking comments and retweets and shit about how I got the number wrong. People saying that it's not enough. Here, sis, this number is grossly understated. Okay, I'm not saying that this is the only payment. I'm just saying that we need to get started. And if y'all niggas can't get together and come on code to agree that they need to get started, then we're never going to get what's owed to us. Period. Well, anyway, we put up another billboard and it said, no tangibles, no vote. And, oh, let me just see if I can pull it up for you. We have a group on Facebook, Citizens for Reparations, because we're citizens and we know that reparations are owed to the descendants of American slavery. Here's the billboard that she got mad about. Reparations for descendants of American slavery. She said that we stole their name because she's ADOS. And I don't see ADOS on this billboard. Then she said that we changed the name because we didn't want to get in trouble for stealing their name. Now, I'm sorry, if you got patents and trademarks and copyrights and shit on your group's name, I think that's great. But you can't copyright, trademark, patent a lineage. You can't. There's no such thing. Unless you're like white people. I feel like maybe they're in the kitchen cooking up some new people. I mean, they've definitely been in the lab making test tube babies. It's probably 50% of the niggas that is out here without melanin probably came out of a test tube in some form or fashion. I digress. We put this billboard up. It's not the only one. Like I just showed you, there's a couple. But she got mad because we said for descendants of American slavery. But I'm not going to sit here and take her terminology, American descent. Why would I do that? Also, I don't pay dues to her group, so I don't know that I would be using her language as much as it all means the same thing, Yvette. And since it all means the same thing, Yvette, why you don't like me? We could be on the same side of things because, look at you up there in your pantsuit. It's a little wrinkle, but that's okay. You're a little wrinkle-minkle in front of all these people, but that's okay. And you talking the right shit because the debt is owed to us. And did you go to Howard with Kamala? All right. I had a crackhead moment. I pressed play, but I didn't actually change the screen. 1 second. There it is. Here's your bet. She said, we're not talking about melanin. We're talking about repair.
Look at the data. 3/4 of Africans didn't get here.
Look at the data.
2000. I graduated from high school in 1999. So I want you to tell me what kind of repair an African needs who got here after I graduated Howard University. We're not talking about melanin. We're talking about repair. And when you talk about repair, what you're doing is measuring a harm. Survivors and their heirs. We're talking about who was harmed. And you can't talk about racial segregation and everything that happened without talking about where it was anchored at, right? It was anchored, this racialized caste was anchored in slavery. If you came over here in an airplane as opposed to a slave ship, we're different. We're the only group that has been multi-generationally oppressed in this country for 400 years. Nobody else can say that.
I just want to bring up also some comments that was made. I want to further just a comment that was made. If I can't tell my story to your.
Now, this is where I wanted us to get to, and I don't mind that Yvette got her time on my channel. This is just me showing y'all that we don't have to like each other to do what needs to be done. Right now, information needs to be shared because this little child up here on your screen that's about to start talking is about to get it wrong. And then treason. Oh, and before you naysayers in the room have anything to say about me going on a child, my children, our minis, all 5 of them have been to reparations task force meetings. They've spoken up with regards to our reparative justice in public to people, not just here in the house, and not because they were forced or coerced or bribed or anything. But you can't sit here and watch the news in America and see a little white baby with a gun shooting at his neighbor's door because its parents were not responsible with their machinery. And then nobody really gets in trouble. And then, Black children don't really do anything. And then they're getting arrested at school. Or shout out to Colt 45, who's being tried as an adult. Well, this child. When I say your parents don't give a shit about you, this is what I mean. When you throw your baby into the belly of the beast with no armor, this is what I mean.
We're the only group that has been multi-generationally oppressed in this country for 400 years. Nobody else can say that.
I just want to bring up also some comments that was made. I want to further just a comment that was made. If I can't tell my story if you can't tell your story if you can't tell stories to your children, you can ask people on the task force. I'm kind of the person that you were talking about, and I heard stories that were made, and that was a group comment. Not only that, there was another group comment that said someone needs to be dedicated to the work. Everyone on this board is beyond qualified. You have not been dedicated to your research. Because if you did your research on everybody, you wouldn't have said that comment. Not only that, there's a lot of respect and collaboration in this room. We've been here for a number of minutes, and it's disgusting to see these people who are dedicated, who are talking about the future of Atlantis, who's South Fulton, and can't even cooperate and speak respectfully to each other. these other factors like mixed people is rude and silly. Conceptualizing is the first thing that happens in addressing a nuanced situation. Shaming people is disrespectful. And I hope the next time, the next few people or the next people behind me, after I'm the last person, will realize that this is ridiculous. How everybody was addressed, how everybody said the same thing after this was said 5 times. I understand it's legitimacy. I understand this topic is very sensitive, but we have to address it full handed and not just shoot out one person or shoot out one topic. Immigration. This is ridiculous, and that is rude.
When my daughter said whatever she said, she had all right to say it. I think it is very reasonable. Whoever said that they said to my daughter, about my daughter, that she had the audacity to do that for a 15-year-old, who was in talk about reparations, go and figure your shit out. It's racialized.
I just had a genius thought. Shout out to Juicy the Genius for giving me this idea, playing back the 15, 16-year-old that you just saw. Give me a second, y'all.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
All right, my genius idea. Our oldest mini, who's joined us at these reparations task force meetings that we've gone to here in our beautiful state of Virginia. In real time, I have no idea what she's going to say, y'all. And I thought about putting her on camera, but I don't want her to be nervous about anything. And some of y'all are fucking weird, so I don't really want her to be nervous while she gives her honest assessment of what is being said. Can you hear pretty good, ma'am? All right. You might have to speak up so they can hear you, though. All right. Spirit Wonder, can you be our audio check real quick? Can you hear my baby? Say something.
Hello.
Can you hear her? Is that loud enough? Actually, I think it is. All right. Here we go. This is the oldest mini, who is 12 this year. She's going to watch what y'all just watched. And then out of the mouth of babes, we're going to see what the fuck is going on. Excuse my language. My bad. I'm sorry. Don't even put $1 in the jar.
Cash was anchored in slavery. If you came over here in an airplane as opposed to a slave ship, we're different. We're the only group that has been multi-generationally oppressed in this country for 400 years. Nobody else can say that. I remember that also the comments that was made. I went further just comment that was made. If I can't tell my story to your, if you can't tell stories to your children, you can have people ask first. I'm trying to the person that we're talking about. And I heard stories that would be that was a comment. Not only that, there was another group comment that said someone needs to be dedicated to work. Everyone on the board is beyond qualified. You have not dedicated to your research. Because you did your research on everybody, you wouldn't have said that comment. Not only that, there's a lot of respect and collaboration in this room. You think you're part of that, and it's disgusting to see these people who are talking about and can't even cooperate and be respectful to each other. The obsession with immigration without mentioning other factors like mixed people is rude and silly. Conceptualizing is the first thing that happens in a nuanced situation. Shaming people is disrespectful. And I hope the next time, the next few people or the next people behind me after that last person will realize that this is ridiculous. Everybody was dressed. Everybody said the same thing. And it was said 5 times. I understand it's legitimacy. I understand this
very useful. But we have to address it full handed, not just shoot out one person or shoot out one topic. Immigration. This is ridiculous, and that is rude.
My daughter said whatever she said, she has all right to say.
Okay, so before we get to the mama bear, Miss Lady, how you said something to me while we were muted. Can you, well, when the girl was talking, what was your first question that you just asked me?
Well, is she really talking about reparations, really? Or is she just talking about people saying stuff about her race or something? Because that's what it sounded like she was saying.
So you're saying it didn't sound like she was talking about reparations? It sounded like she's talking about something else?
Like they were judging her race.
Like they're judging her race?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you hear her talking about immigration? She kept saying, immigration. You guys are obsessed with immigration. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea why Black Americans would be obsessed with immigration?
Well, I don't think they're obsessed with immigration. I think they're just saying, stop coming to our country and stay in your own country.
Why should they stay in their own country?
Well, because we were here first.
Mm-hmm.
And we built everything here.
Right.
And then here they come saying how they're helping with it or something when they really didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, right? That you get here after all the work's done and then you say, I helped, right? Like when you're cleaning your room and then your brothers and sisters, and I go upstairs and I say, did you clean your room? And you say, I cleaned up. And then they say, what do they say?
They're like, we helped too.
But then did they really help?
No,
they didn't really help at all. They just cap, right? It's all cap. I don't know if you heard any cap here. I know that I've never, me and Bob have never let you actually speak to the task force, but you've been to a couple task force meetings, right? And at the task force meetings that you've been to, was it as animated as this, or was it kind of chill? It was kind of chill. Yeah, shout out to Virginia. I feel like even though they had white people on the task force, there was not a lot of this, because little ma'am, this is what happened after the little girl was speaking.
I think it is very beautiful. What was that? That to my daughter about my daughter. That she had the audacity to do that. As a 15-year-old, it was in her heart, bold and figure your shit out. That's a 15-year-old. That's a 15-year-old.
That's a 15-year-old. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, y'all have something sideways to say about my baby, I'll fight you. And then since her daddy won't actually let me fight you, he'll fight you. And actually, I don't want to say that he'll fight you, but look, just don't. You got something nasty or negative to say about my 12-year-old speaking her honest opinion about what she just heard from this 15-year-old. You know, they're kind of in pure age range, right? 15-year-old just got to high school. My baby will be going to high school soon. They're in the same age range. But baby, before I send you upstairs to bed, because it is getting past your bedtime, I know it's weekend, but last thing, that's the little girl's mom. Do you see what side of do you see where she's sitting? Her right there. Yeah. Now, when you see her right here, do you see a difference between where they're sitting and where everybody else was commenting from? Do you see her there versus everybody else that was speaking from right there? Do you know what that difference is? Do you know why people are here speaking and then she's up here speaking? Do you know what that is? It's okay if you don't. No. Okay. At our meetings in Virginia, it wasn't structured like this, where there was a high council of sorts. You know, it was more like roundtable discussions, and then at the end was time for public comment. So just so that you know, the people who are speaking at the podium to the people, those are the public. And then the people behind, those ones sitting down, those are the people on the task force. And those are the people who are going to have to make a recommendation to the government in that area about Black people's reparations. So I like when you participate and you want to learn more. And tomorrow is Sunday school, so I hope you'll participate in your instructor capacity, because we're not at capacity there. We're actually looking for more students. If you're interested, don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. They can join us in Sunday school. My baby, who's here with me right now, is one of the many educators that they will get to learn from should you decide to join us on that journey. But I'm gonna send her and her siblings, since everybody kind of came down to see what's going on, to bed. And while I do that, y'all can listen to another commercial. What's up, everybody? It's Eve. Follow me on Twitter and YouTube for space recordings and special live programs. 2024, we're doing things a little different if you haven't peeped game by now. So yeah, this is your chance. You can do it now if you want. Hit the bell here on YouTube at JustEveB, or find me on X at Justice4Just_Us. That's JUSTICE, 4 JUST_US. And if you feel so inclined, support my channel and the work we do over here. The Cash App and Patreon links are in the description. Black first. That's right, Black first. And like I said, I don't know that people should be saying anything negative to a child, but I do know that if you are going to act like an adult and be in an adult environment, then you're going to have to be prepared for the adults who don't take lightly to disrespect, and it doesn't matter who it's coming from. Period. Point blank. And this woman, this disgrace of a representative for Black America, shame on you. And how professional, right? Go and figure your shit out. This bitch crashed out because people said in real time, nothing disrespectful. If anything, they were confused as to why this little baby was up there speaking so brazenly about shit she clearly doesn't understand. Like, I mean, she didn't understand the fact that there are going to be public comments and that some of the public is going to say the same shit. I mean, that's the whole reason for public comment. See where the public aligns with what's been said. And if a lot of people disagree, well, now it's time to go back to the drawing board. If a lot of people agree, well, maybe that means it's something that we do and use. This disgrace of a melanated woman on the panel.
That's a 50-year-old. That's a 50-year-old. That's a 50-year-old. That's a 50-year-old. Here.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, this is my favorite part. Juicy, thank you for getting this footage, because this was my favorite part of the task force, was watching them escort her ass out. Fuck out of here. She is unbelievable up there, right? Unbelievable. I don't need an escort. You better think a union member. I'm sorry. my blood clot. This is a blood clot and the rasta clot and the blood clot. Shut the fuck up. All right, look, here's the thing. People online were saying that she's half, they have, whatever, half. So if she's half and her daughter has a Black American father, then I guess we're in the octoroon stage of things with regards to people's blackness and flat blackness and shit. Flat blackness is a problem. Shout out to the chat. And this woman who rasta clot, blood clot, maybe she was on her clot. She does not want to be American, nor is she proud to be an American. If she were, she would not have sent her baby into the belly of the beast unarmed. Don't make your children soft targets and then be mad when they get shot. Because I promise you, there are people out here who are not soft targets, and because their babies are infants and we have to rely on systems that are supposed to help us, yesterday was rough, right? Because this little baby on your screen is supposed to still be here. Went in for a surgery that you shouldn't die from and died. And according to them, it was natural. I'm sorry, you don't go into surgery that you're not supposed to die from and then die and it have a natural cause associated with it. This is just but one piece of evidence that the family was able to acquire with regards to the cause of death. Micah was murdered 2 years ago yesterday. And I would have to think that the people who were in charge of his care contributed to the complications of the procedure. Now, I know it says right here, sickle beta plus thalassemia. But do you see right here, manner of death, natural? No, there was no tobacco use contributing to the death, but it says right here, natural. You can't tell me that you went in for a procedure that you're not supposed to die from and die, and then it's a natural death. Fuck you. Fuck Texas. Fuck children's Texas and the doctors associated with this tragedy. You want to know their names? I know you want to know their names. Their names are Immigrant 1, Immigrant 2, and White Daddy. I'm sorry. Their names are I want to get it right. Where's that dang email? The doctors associated with this baby's death. Here we go. I'm sorry. Reading through the postmortem examination, and I thought that they had the doctors' names in here. They have the medical examiner's name in here. Let's go to... Yeah, y'all are just gonna have to bear with me. I didn't actually think I would tell y'all their names because we've said their names before, but since we're here and it's been 2 years and not a lot has transpired over on that side of things, the family's given me permission to speak about this tonight. And because of the status of these doctors, you can't come here from a shithole and then tell me that you got the doctor skills And I'm not talking about like witch doctor skills, because I get that. You know, we got a lot of people who are into homeopathic types of medicine and natural healing, spiritual healing. I get that, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you came from a place where you didn't have running water. The plumbing was not great, but you get to go straight past go to doctor school. Douglas Fishman was one of the doctors at Texas Children's Hospital who was with baby Micah when he was being murdered. Another one of the doctors, their name is God damn it. Technology is stupid, especially when it's a smartphone in my possession. Sorry, y'all. Here we go. I found it. Winley Ruan. That's another one of the physicians in pediatric medicine over at Texas Children's Hospital who was directly involved in baby Micah's death. Winley Ruan, Douglas Fishman, and Olutoyin. And I want to say, according to the family, it was Olutoyin who ignored them upon arrival, ignored them at the update, but was the one who was supposed to break the news to them about their baby and his non-living status anymore. It's sickening that 1,964 people can raise $226,000 in like a month or 2 months, but 892 people can't get to $100,000. I don't understand. But maybe y'all are on some shit where, you know, it didn't happen to me, so I don't need to do anything about it. Micah is all of our babies, and if we can't come together to help us fight for justice when injustice has occurred, then I don't know if we deserve what it is that we're owed. Maybe not a lot of people are owed because they checked out a long time ago. People keep saying, I'm not my ancestors. I'm not my ancestors. Maybe not. Because if you're here in 2024, them motherfuckers fought to be here. And if you don't want to fight, then maybe you're not your ancestors. Or maybe you come from a line of coons. Because that's a real thing too. But when we've got people who are not soft targets and they have babies and they use systems that are in place to help us, like calling 911 for help, shout out to Amber and Rich Homie Kwan, or taking your baby to the hospital because of a problem. We're not doctors out here. I mean, yes, preventative care starts in the home, but when you are a new parent, you're not going to know some of this shit because you're a new parent. And then even if you've been a parent for a long time, some of this shit you're not going to know. That's why they have people who studied these things for years and years and have a lot of debt and don't really heal people, but they've got some know-how. So then you pay the cost to take the baby, to get the help, for them not to get any help because, well, niggas don't have any money. And because they don't have any money, they're not going to be able to fight this the way they want to. And because they can't fight this the way they want to, well, we've got systems in place to help us out if they do decide to fight it. I'm talking caps on money. caps on the amount that you can get from a wrongful death. I'm talking the fact that lawyers, if they hear that you want justice, don't actually want to fight for you because it's a little bit harder than to get that medical malpractice check that is there for you to use. That's why doctors have medical malpractice. When you kill somebody and you're a doctor, you got to be insured. Hospitals are not going to continue to hire you if you don't have the money to cover your ass. But I digress, at least there, because, well, America's full, but we keep getting told that we need help from these other people. Just like my baby told y'all earlier, these people come over here and act like they've done something. The fuck did you do? But get over here, use up all the toilet paper, use up all the paper towels, use up all the sanitary items and hygiene products. And yeah, because y'all niggas, yeah, you came over here and acted like you weren't smearing shit on your huts to keep cool in the summertime, right? Oh no, that's too much. Y'all are acting like you not taking dumps on the beach. Is that still too much? I can just show it to you. We don't have to use my words because I'm not making this shit up. No pun and pun intended. I've seen some things, and well, starting here. I guess I need to show you my screen.
This was a disgrace. This was a disgrace.
And I'm not being mean. I'm just saying Trump said that they came from shitholes. This little nigga is shitting on the beach. Literally. Watch. Y'all saw it. He took his drawers down and took a dump on the beach like a damn cat. But then you've got shit like this. That also happens. Shout out to my beautiful state with the beach.
Look at that. Oh, are they doing that on purpose?
What are they doing on purpose? They're fishing and probably shitting on the beach. And when you fish, you can't fucking fish in the recreational areas. I mean, you can, but when you do it, shit happens. Literally. Sorry.
Look at that. Oh, are they doing that on purpose?
God damn it. All right. Enterococci. I can't say that word, you guys. Enterococci. That type of bacteria is used as an indicator of fecal contamination in the water. And because of it, the beaches were closed. And not just here in Virginia. The beaches in the United States of America, multiple beaches, have been closed because of shitty water. And look, this day that we were out at the beach, me and my family enjoying the beach before school starts back up, not only were they fishing, but they were crabbing. So just imagine, walk down this road with me just for a moment. You're shitting on the beach. You're fishing on the beach. What do crabs eat? I know, it's kind of gross, but they eat shit. They bottom feeders like shit. You are eating the shit that's eating your shit, and then you're shitting it out, and then it's eating its shit. What the fuck?
Fuck out of here. You get the fuck out of here. You get the fuck out of here. You get the fuck out of here. And if I don't,
That's right. Put some hands on her. She wanted some hands put on her. That's why she's talking like that. But really, is this sabotage? Do the good white people who say, yeah, them niggas is old, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump ahead of this and get these task force out the way and say we've studied, we done some studying, and well, we're gonna let some niggas on the task force. You niggas better act right. And then this bitch goes up there and shows her ass, her whole ass, and has to get put out of a meeting that was already adjourned. Okay.
There was a youth non-taxpaying citizen.
That's right. That's right. Shout out to you, Miss T, and everybody who shows up. When you show up to these things, you are a first person witness account of what the fuck happened. Just like they're telling us that these illegals are not taking over cities in Colorado and that they're not doing all of this crime. And then you have Americans taking footage on their own. No longer are we using and relying on their CCTV footage because, you know, in places like Chicago where you can find out that Juicy lied, not Juicy the genius from Twitter, no, but Juicy Smollett lied about his crime or the crimes that happened to him, but we can't find these black on black crimes situation people, the instigators, the people doing the crime, but you know they were black. You got all these cameras out, but you're not okay. No, so no, we're not relying on their shit anymore. We're taking matters into our own hands and showing you guys. So my hat's off to any and everybody who steps outside to make sure that they're speaking appropriately about what needs to be said.
Who made a comment. She was pretty much upset because she felt like everybody was being disrespectful to immigrants. Her mother sits on the task force. Her mother is half Black American.
There it is. Her name's down there. Ann Hill Bond. I think. Ann Hill Bond.
Half Caribbean. So the mother got upset because she thought somebody said something to her daughter. I didn't hear it. Somebody said that they said the girl was wrong. It's public comments, so you can have your opinion. And then afterwards, when the meeting was about to be adjourned, the young lady's mother said, "No, we're not adjourning this meeting until I say what needs to be said." And so she began to go off on everyone in attendance. And the thing was, who said it? Address it to that person.
All right, Juicy, I don't normally give everybody all that time and shit, but definitely your branding is important, and I wanted people to know where they can go to get news that they can use. And you've been doing the thing, so shout out to you. So Black News Daily, you can find her on X. She has a website. Check it out. But let's check out the information that was shared on the news that we can use in real time. Ann Hill Bond. What the fuck is her name? Ann Hill Bond. Here she is. According to capitalbnews.org, Ann Hill Bond is a Capital B Atlanta's community engagement editor. She is a Jamaican-born and Ghana-raised journalist. Now, I don't know how she's got deep Southern Black roots, but okay. She was born in Jamaica. So if she's half, she was born in Jamaica, raised in Ghana. So the fuck she got some deep Southern Black roots, but okay, fine. Ann Hill Bond, get the fuck out of here. You get the fuck out of here with your blood clot. Your Rasta clot. I don't know what the fuck any of that shit means. Actually, no. I watched the Asian. There was an Asian Jamaican lady. Y'all seen her on the TikToks? She's talking about how Jamaica isn't a place that uses racial designations like that. But she gave the understanding and information about what a blood clot was. and now it's like a period rag, right? Okay. I digress. It's like, no, that woman is not an American. She don't talk like an American. She don't sound like an American.
Blood clots. Bomber clots. Glass clots. Yeah, you tell them come never tell them none. It don't mean nothing. Back in the day during slavery, women.
Y'all gotta see the irony here. Who the fuck is talking about back in the day during slavery? Okay.
Used to wear padded drawers when she has CR period. This piece of cloth was known as the blood cloth. They would put on your drawers. But when the ladies would wash and hang them to dry, the plantation owner would get upset and yell, "Move your blood clot." And from this, these words became associated with cursing. So if you never know, now you know.
Oh, look at that. That's like a black and brown alliance, right? Let's go black and brown. It'd be black and brown, right? They both like curry. Okay, I like curry too sometimes. Yeah, okay, that's what a blood clot is, and she's being very vulgar, calling people period items, sanitary napkins of sorts. Pretty disgusting, if you ask me. And no, that woman does not deserve her seat on the task force, but I'm pretty sure she was up there to be opposition, controlled opposition. And then they couldn't even really control her because they had to escort her ass out of there. Atlanta, y'all need to show up. Y'all need to pull up. Y'all need to show out and let them know that Atlanta is as sassy as people talk about, right? And then use the sass to get the molasses out they ass is over there. Because you better thank a union member. Well, what are we thanking union members for? That's like all I got was we better thank a union member. But then I feel like unions were created to keep niggas out of work. Like, because white people didn't have the skills, but they didn't have any real way of keeping us from doing the jobs that they couldn't do, so they unionized. Okay. Let me not soapbox too long tonight because, like I said, this show was really for last night. I don't have any of my mods in the chat to help me out because I'm all sorts of off schedule, but it was important to me not to have to download this space and upload it to the tube as much as I just kind of wanted to have it up here anyway. If you want to support Micah's family and their fight for justice, I just posted their GoFundMe in the chat. You can do something with that. If you want to speak up about what's going on in Atlanta, you can actually, how about you go to Capital B News on X and tell them how you really feel. Just posted their link in the chat for you. If you don't want foreigners to take the Black jobs, then I guess we're going to have to make our presence known in the workforce. But oh shit, oh wait, we are known in the workforce. They don't want to hire us because we're overskilled, overqualified. So now I'm back to understanding why people with no skills coming from places with no plumbing are allowed to be in some of the most sacred places in America. The hospital saving someone from injury, disease, and death cannot be a place where you learned how to wash your hands for the first time. Can't be the first time you seen some running water was when you came over here and said that you helped your uncle, the witch doctor, back in the day. I'm very disgusted by Black America's lack of care for each other. Because these other people come over here and they learn from us. They learn from us how to treat us and then, well, permanent underclass. My ancestors did not struggle, fight, and survive for me or my minis to be a permanent underclass. The time is now. But you're going to have to be strong. You're going to have to be strong saying things unapologetically, making people very uncomfortable to be around you. If you don't know ICE's number in your area, you better thank Kamala for bringing this up now, because now you have a reason to learn it. Now you have a reason to call. You can't call Ghostbusters. No, can't call them niggas. But you can call ICE. Because if they're here illegally, well, you're just doing your job as a tax-paying citizen, don't you know? People shouldn't be mad about that, right? I mean, you don't want the crime rates to continue to skyrocket, right? Or are you so far past these conversations that you're just going to check out? Because if that's where you are, then no tangibles, no vote. That's where you need to be. This is interesting. Check this out. I find it fun to look at outlets that don't have a white person or a black person as the spokesperson for whatever it is going on, because then y'all can't say that I'm being biased or racist.
The issue of New York City sanctuary status reached a breaking point in January near Times Square, where a group of migrants allegedly attacked two police officers. The case is pending, but the question remains, should New York City reconsider its sanctuary status? Currently, local law enforcement is restricted from cooperating with federal immigration authorities. Even when migrants are convicted of crimes and released, immigration authorities are often not notified, hindering potential deportations. Public opinion in New York is divided.
I think that the courts should communicate with ICE and get rid of people who are committing crimes.
A lot of the hotels have migrants, but I've never had any issues with them.
Hindering potential deportations. Public opinion in New York is divided.
I think that the courts should communicate with ICE and get rid of people who are committing crimes.
A lot of the hotels have migrants, but I've never had any issues with them whatsoever.
The courts should
Marie Schultz is a New York City resident. Okay.
communicate with ICE and get rid of people who are committing crimes.
A lot of the hotels have migrants, but I've never had any issues with them whatsoever. If you're tired, you're poor, you're huddle masses, you need to be free. I mean,
Carl Kozel, quoting the Statue of Liberty or Ellis Island or whatever that preamble is, give me your shithole people so that we don't have to pay them niggas. Remember? Okay.
that's what New York City is all about.
Meanwhile, migrant activists feel the issue is being blown out of proportion.
I absolutely think that the sanctuary status should remain. I mean, this sort of emphasizing the isolated instances of migrants committing crimes is just very typical. You cherry pick the stories, you emphasize the negative, and you scapegoat a certain group of people.
In response to VOA's question on the matter, at an August 27th press conference, New York City Mayor Eric Adams expressed his views on modifying the city's sanctuary status.
People who commit violent acts on New Yorkers and other migrants and asylums and undocumented individuals should not remain in our country after they serve their time.
The federal government is also weighing in.
We don't want to eradicate the sanctuary policies. We just want minor changes where we can collaborate with NYPD and arrest these individuals and take them off the street.
Ginello says there's currently no objective data on migrant crime in the Big Apple.
The problem with trying to
My problem is that all of these outlets seem to be lying. And then they say that the other outlet is lying. And then the other outlet is lying. And then who the fuck are we supposed to trust? What news outlet is going to give us unbiased information about what is really going on over here. So, places like Sky News Australia and others seem a little bit more fair, giving all sorts of sides of the problem and, what could be done. But be prepared. It's going to be uncomfortable seeing how the rest of the world laughs at us. I mean, really, the fact that Putin is saying that he wants Kamala to be the president just sounds like, I know who I'm dealing with, and I'd rather deal with her than the nigga that was in office before, because I know how he is too. Well, real quick. When I say show up, speak up, and people are doing these things, this is what I'm talking about.
Not the emotion. Because patriotism is an emotional response to feelings of pride in one's country.
But I think with the patriotism, we're going to have to recap the narrative in terms of the patriotism. Because what we have seen are they got blue flags with tattoos over their faces and guns and Mark Williams. I mean, it's just, and this is what's supposed to be, the visual of what patriotism is all about. So that is, talking about that. I think that's a great. It needs to be included in.
Now, I know it's a little jumbled, but she's talking about patriotism. This is one of many meetings that we attended and spoke up because just because you have melanin and you sport the red, white, and blue does not mean that it was for you.
But you also need to be, in terms of education, you need to understand really what patriotism is all about.
And just one more comment, and that is, if you're looking at the history of voting and the obstacles that have been put into place, I think it's important to focus on some of the obstacles, because some of the same obstacles you see today existed 40 years ago. And so these aren't new techniques. They're just, they're just dusting them off and putting them back in place.
Thank you. You guys have been awesome. Thank you so much. You're going to move right along the work that you're doing. And I know Dominique has been on. She's been on the front line. Thank you so much. Okay, appreciate that. Okay, is anything else, Dominique, that you wanted to add to that? And I think we have the place for discussion. Updates from commissioners. I guess at this time, if there's anything that you want to know that be going on that you want people to be a part of, or you want to share with us, that certainly is something that we're at right now. The only thing I can think of is there are many Juneteenth activities that are coming up. Are we having a meeting before the Juneteenth? Or will we have a meeting before Juneteenth activities? No, we will not. About to be well, maybe we can collect the information and let people, they would just kind of, those of us who are around the table, share what's going on. We can collect the information and then just make it further aware of what's happening across the Commonwealth. And various things, the things that you already participate in, so that we can be a support to the interview. Okay. At this time, we're going to ask for public comment.
I hate to put her on blast, but you see the woman on screen, Miss Andrea Douglas. She looks so uninterested. It happens.
Now, will her comments be on recorded?
Would you mind coming to the podium? That way we'll make sure to get your comment, Kathy.
Now, I don't know if you caught that. And it's taken me a little while to catch some of these things. I've had to go back through and watch them. Even though we were in attendance, we participated firsthand experience and witnesses. But it was so much going on. I find that, in real time, it's a little hard to say a lot of these things quickly because we get so emotional. We get so hung up on something that was said, and then shit, now we don't have any more time. And she asked if the comments were going to be recorded. And he said, yeah. Actually, can you come up to the podium so we can take a gander? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks to the committee for meeting.
Oh, shit. That was Eve before the blonde. Okay, shout out to Eve before the blonde. Same bitch. Same words. New hair.
Today regarding the trauma and debt owed to me and my family and my ancestors. I wanted to reiterate that the repair needs to be for a specific community of a specific lineage, the descendants of enslaved Blacks in the United States of America, here in Virginia. The term African American can be co-opted by other Blacks living in America because everyone cites their origins of Africa. I think that if the commission could make sure that the language is specific to my lineage, that would eliminate any confusion on who the commission is seeking to repair and would ensure that all debts are paid to the appropriate parties. After listening to the commission today and at the last meeting, I find that as long as the proposal includes an appropriate direct cash payment compensation, in addition to restitution, rehabilitation, satisfaction, and guarantees of non-repetition, we can definitely move forward as a state and eventually as other states make their recommendations as the nation. I don't know if the question is warranted, but I had one. If the commission would be making any federal recommendations, as member Ayers spoke about earlier, slavery and the country got its legs here in Virginia, which means that the whole country wouldn't be the same if Virginia hadn't enacted that tariff on the community. I think it might be Virginia's responsibility as a state to make a recommendation federally, but also, to just take that into consideration. One point about information, remember Richardson was speaking about access and communication, and I think it was.
And I'm not here to soapbox or ego stroke or stroke myself or anything like that, but I'm showing you something specific. I'm naming people. Why? Because these people had something to say in the meeting. And then when you don't say that it came from this person and you just say, well, I heard, it starts sounding like hearsay, starts sounding like drama, starts sounding messy, starts sounding like you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like earlier when I tried to quote the former senator from New York article, can't find it. My mods aren't here to help me find it. So I sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. But I will post it in the description because it was very telling about how much these people who are not supposed to be here are getting. Yeah, it's really bothering me that I can't find it in real time. But no, these people who are on these commissions, they have names and they have thoughts. And their thoughts are going to find their way into legislation unless you do something about it.
It's a wonderful point because without information, how can people know what's going on? If the commission could take care to post information in multiple areas and possibly in advance, like more than the week of, then people will know what's going on and can make a better attempt at being here. It was kind of a hassle to get here. I live in Norfolk, but it is important, so that's why I'm here. I have two more points and then I'll be done. A point about voting. The Black community isn't going to vote unless there's something to vote for. Remember Newbie was speaking about consumerism aspect, but the quid pro quo aspect is what happens for every other community. We get told to vote now and not pay later, but our ancestors got told to not vote and then they were murdered just for existing. So we get told that our ancestors died for their right to vote when really they were murdered for being Black, which kind of goes back into the reparations obstacle of it all. And I think that the current dual party system is kind of confusing because the Democrats used to be Republicans, but now they're the group that has self-proclaimed themselves as our party, but they aren't doing anything for the people that they're claiming to represent. Think sanctuary cities and programs for people who aren't even supposed to be here. I hope the subcommittee addresses that in their reporting. My final point is that California has been a great example for the country regarding the trauma and terror that has been enacted on my lineage, and the studies will prove that more studies need to happen. But what needs to happen is that compensation and resources need to be agreed upon first, and that needs to be paid out first, that repair can start. It could take years for certain programs to get their legs. Hospitals take years to be built. Schools take years to, find all the people who are going to staff these places. And I think that if your official recommendation could include that the highlight for the need of immediate distribution of resources and allotment of funds while the other programs get their kinks worked out, that would be appreciated. Thank you for allowing my comment.
Okay, thank you. Did you share with us your name?
Oh, I think it is. Right. Eve.
Eve? Okay. Appreciate your remarks. Thank you. I don't know if anybody had anything to respond. We have a you say that at the mic that we have it over.
Okay. Good afternoon to the committee. My name is Melissa Williams. I am from Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm also a graduate of the illustrious Norfolk State University, and I am a Navy veteran. A couple of things I do want to, I share the same sentiments as Eve as far as the who making it lineage based and expressing some form of cash payment redress in addition to a couple of the other things she said. Might I also make a recommendation? I hear when the subcommittees were speaking, they were talking about the areas that they wanted to address. First, I'll start with the healthcare subcommittee. Might I recommend that you add something in your report about food deserts?
Now, what Melissa did, well, she kind of did the same thing. She didn't name people per se, but she's naming the committees that were speaking. If you're at these meetings and specific groups and people are talking about us, you got to make a note. These people are in charge of what's owed to us. And because the bully doesn't get to say how they will make amends, it's up to the people who've been bullied, oppressed, traumatized, and are saying that enough is enough. We are the ones who get to make the decision on how repair will be done. So when these groups get together and they say, well, this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're going to do, and we're going to talk about these people, and we're going to talk about these people, well, I find that if you don't know who these people are, it's going to be to your detriment. These are the citizen members that were on the task force that concluded July 1st of this year. Dr. Jody Allen, Dr. Edward Ayers, Dr. Andrea Douglas, Dr. John Kinney, Dr. Newbie Alexander, Xavier Richardson, Dr. Karen Sherry, Daniel Watkins. And then you've got the two legislative members, one from the House, the Honorable Dolores McQuinn. That's who's been speaking. Every time I show you this, that's the main lady talking. And then you've got the Honorable Mamie E. Locke. I don't know that I'd ever seen her at any of the meetings, but I didn't go to all the meetings. I went to the ones that I knew about. From there, well, Virginia's task force concluded July of this year, and I haven't seen the report. I don't know what was recommended to the House. It could have absolutely gone the same way that California went. Literally, I mean, put in the inactive file to be discussed or not in the future. There's only 4 people in my state speaking up about what's going on. I don't know how many people are in your states, but if it's not you, then what are you doing? You can't listen to me for fucking 2 hours and then be a person who doesn't get off their ass and goes and does something. And fine, maybe you don't get off your ass. Maybe you just use your phone to make some calls. That's what happened in California when it was looking like the 2 bills were not going to pass. Phone calls were made. Phone trees started. People were getting the word out. Like, we need to pull up. We need to show up. We need to be there. They're going to fuck us over. We need to be there. And then, well, people showed up. I interviewed our good sister, Why They Do Me Like That, the other day on my show. She was a first-person account of the California debacle, and she was moved to tears many times because how dare you? How dare you sit up on that task force and act like this shit isn't life and death?
Yeah, I know a little bit about that. What I do know is
desk on August 26th.
as it relates, we work with the legislature throughout the legislative process on amendments. Sometimes they advance those amendments. Sometimes they don't take our amendments, and those bills are sent to my desk. I think you're referencing bills that were not sent to my desk that did not pass through the legislature. As it relates to the broader issue of reparations, which I appreciate both of you referencing, we work very closely with the Black Caucus on a package of reparations reforms. We met before the legislative session. We met during the legislative session. We worked very collaboratively on amendments. We also worked on bills without amendments. And I think the vast majority of those that we agreed to and worked collaboratively together with the Black Caucus have ended up on my desk. I'll be reviewing them all on the merits, and I want to applaud the head of the Black Caucus, Lori Wilson, who's been spectacular in advancing those bills, their principles, and advancing them in a collaborative spirit.
What's under fire about those two critical bills that did not make it to your desk?
Well, yeah, those bills, you'll have to ask them, the legislature, why those didn't land on my desk.
Did you tell the Black Caucus that you would veto the reparations agency and reparations fund?
I didn't talk directly to anyone about those 2 bills. As it relates to the process of how bills are done broadly in the state, there's a collaborative process. People ask our opinions. Are there concerns? Issues that have dollar figures are consistently marked. Consistently. If it wasn't done in the budget, that's going to be a challenge. There's always exceptions to that, but that's going to be a challenge. And that was a process that unfolded over the course, as I said, of months, particularly as it relates to the reparations package, in partnership with the Black Caucus. And there was no daylight with Lori Wilson and the Black Caucus as it relates to the work that we did collaboratively together. And let me just, on a personal note, and forgive me about this, she did not deserve to be attacked like she was attacked. Members of the Black Caucus did not deserve to be attacked and their integrity impugned. That was disgraceful. There were members of that Black Caucus that are owed an apology.
No, they're not, Mr. Newsom. None of those coons are owed an apology. How dare you put your name on a bill that you won't even introduce to be debated? Fuck y'all. You need to be canceled. Really, truly. I mean, like yesterday. Because what are you there for if it's not to do the things that need to be done? But if we're being honest, I guess some of the things that y'all niggas think need to be done include having you get my reparations? No. No, 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 no. Because when white people can't even speak up about the things that they're seeing that's wrong, when white people, seemingly white people, can't say common sense things like, hey, there's a bill And we should talk about it because it's about to be the end of the session and it's been worked on. Didn't you niggas work on this for so long? Like, what the fuck is going on? Right? Now I know y'all are gonna say the blood clot. I don't hear him cursing. I don't hear him saying get the fuck out of here. I do hear him saying you're a liar. And maybe that's enough to get people out of sorts. But if you're lying, then, well, again, what's the fucking point?
So what now? State Senator Stephen Bradford is the vice chair of California's Legislative Black Caucus and an author of the reparations legislation. Sir, thank you for being with me. And you sponsored the bill to get the Bruce Beach land back to the family it was taken from 100 years ago. You've been out front on reparations. What happened here? Why did these bills not fail but not even get a vote?
I wish I could answer that question. It's probably the greatest disappointment in my 26 years of being an elected official to totally be blindsided by these bills that had no opposition, had no amendments to them, had sailed through the Senate with no problem, had sailed all the way through the Assembly, getting out of Assembly approach with no amendments and sat on the Assembly floor ready to be taken up for 3 weeks. And we had planned to take bills up all last Wednesday, and at the last minute, we got all these red flags. Oh, we're afraid of a veto, and we did a vote count. We had to vote for the bills. The bills were in no trouble to get off the floor.
No trouble to get off the floor. And that was this clip was taken from, well, 5:30 in the morning. What the fuck date is this? I think that it was from this past week. I mean, I know it's very recent, but the reason that I wanted the date was because of this statement regarding pending legislation. So this is from August 31st. This is before the task force meeting where the bills never got the light that they were supposed to get from the California Black Caucus. What do they say? I know you guys can read, but just for brevity, it says that blah, 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 Black Californians positively impact Black Californians. Then it says blah, blah, blah. We understand that the legislation process is complex and doesn't always unfold as initially envisioned. However, we remain committed to our long-term goals and recognize that this is a multi-year effort. Long-term goals. You see how this entire letter, this press release doesn't say anything about anybody other than Black Californians. You see that, right? So just humor me. Why is the Welcome to California Legislative Black Caucus splash page, that's the first page that you get to when you go to their website, why does it say this? Under the leadership, joined together to address the concerns of African Americans and other citizens of color. Okay, so it sounds like they're actually doing exactly what the fuck they said that they were going to do. They were going to speak to the groups that they've been speaking about, and they're going to act like they're doing something. There are other bills in this priority package where we've taken this approach to ensure they fully reflect the needs and aspirations of the communities we represent. You represent one community, the Black community, the Black Californians. Or maybe you don't. If you can't be black, if you're black last, if it pains you, if it icks you, if you earl in your mouth having to talk about Black America, then you don't need to have black in your name. California Black Caucus might need to be called something else, but it's not just them. All of the Black caucuses need to probably be called something else because they're not doing anything for Black America. They're actually in the way of our progress. In a time when schools are getting shut up, children are being murdered in hospitals, Black men and Black women have the biggest target on our backs, there are still people who go outside to make sure that we are getting a fair shake, as fair of a shake as we can in these environments. But then, what? What then? Because I'll let you know that this election year, where the data says that 66% of America votes, let's look at those numbers after November. Because if they don't cheat and steal, those numbers should be a lot lower this year. But I'm no sage, right? I'm not a soothsayer. I'm not a fortune teller. I have no clue what America's going to do. What I do know is that America's full. And if you're not from here, you might need to carry your ass back to wherever you fled from expeditiously. That means fast. Okay. I don't want to be here all night. So I think I'm going to go ahead and turn it down. If you liked what I had to say, hit the likes. If you want to make people uncomfortable, send them my show. Let them know that you are as uncomfortable as they're about to get. But it is through their discomfort that we can finally have some conversations where we can make a decision that makes sense for us. For us, by us. Y'all niggas used to rock boo-boo. But okay, I digress. Oh, don't be like Anne Hill Bond, sending your baby into the belly of the beast unarmed. That was terrible. I wanted to smack her. And shout out to y'all for not actually smacking her, because that woman would have had some real hands put on her if she were speaking like that around some of the people I know. But if you want some assistance in having these conversations with your minis, then join us on Sundays. It's a family affair.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.
If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do. If you're not going to speak up, you're the one who do.
Yo, before I finish, I just found something I wanted to show. And I didn't tell y'all about this one. If you're not going to speak up, support the ones who do. Shout out to the students who were brave enough to catch this.
Why the fuck are you laughing, Miss Emerson? What the fuck is funny? Why the fuck are you laughing, Miss Emerson? What the fuck is funny? Why the fuck are you laughing, Miss Emerson? What the fuck is funny? You laughing, Miss Everson? What the fuck are you laughing, Miss Everson?
That bitch needs to get fired. And yeah, I know the community note is going to say something about trauma responses. I get it. Here it is. Uncontrollable laughter can be explained by a person's involuntary reaction to extreme shock. Well, I fucking laugh every goddamn time I see a person who's not from here getting some karma, because you never really get to see the karma in real time. No, we get the aftermath, the second shock. But in real time, when schools are getting shot up and we've got teachers in the building who laugh because that's how uncomfortable they are, I'm reminded that on Sundays, this is what we're here for.
Supplemental learning for your mini. But you can learn too. Don't send your mini into the belly of the beast unarmed. Courses, practical math, language, the code, our story, and more. An institution founded by us, dedicated to us and our fight for justice. Here you will learn ways to combat the system using the same information they are trying to keep away from you. Welcome to FBA Sunday School.